through the success of Thriller, I think Michael became aware of exactly the power that he had and the influence that not only music could have, but his music could have in the world. And many of the themes in some of the later projects were very much a reflection of what Michael's concerns are for the world, for people, for children.
This is the area that might mean the most to Michael, but sadly where his words and actions are received most cynically.
So, for the victims of the Washington, D.C. 9/11 attacks on America, the fact that I got to create something that was the background video was all the flags of the world, and they flashed on the screen in time to the music. And it looked beautiful, and Michael did this song, took his name out of the show. It never appeared in the performance or in the broadcast, and he rehearsed it and made it all perfect. Everybody worked really hard singing it. And I just think that man has a spirit and a soul that is just so strong. I really respect him.
Michael's a giver. He gives time, he gives money. He hears about kids that need surgery or operations, and he has his people call up and find out how much it will cost, and he writes a check, and nobody knows where it ever comes from.
Over the years, Michael has increasingly expressed his principles through his art. As well as being a fantastic visual feat, the video for Earth Song was honoured at the Genesis Environmental Awards.
Everybody is the idea is literally clinging on for dear life as the Earth resurrects itself and the Earth is spinning and there's this almighty, incredible epic wind and everybody's clinging on. He's a fantastic performer. And even though all those non-actors were brilliant, we didn't have anything for them. If I had had trees for them to hold on to, I would have done the same with them. But what happened is that, so by the time you got the people who were already prejudiced about Michael watched that video and thought, oh, there's Michael Jackson trying to save the world again. And actually, it was, if you watch the video in an unbiased light, everybody is trying to save the world and everybody's just clinging on. But because A, he's the singer, B, he's a better performer, and C, he's got two trees to hold on to, he comes across as, to some, you could argue, you could interpret as, he's trying to save the world.
I don't think Michael is cynical. I think he just is a caring person. I think he really has an evolved sense to him. And I think he's done his share of marketing kudos and smart things. But I think underneath it all, he's just he's a true artist, in my opinion.
Then at the Brits Awards, he repeated that kind of motif, which could be interpreted as Jesus on the cross, which is a dangerous thing to do. And I don't think he thought about that. And you could call that naive or not. I certainly never thought of it when we were shooting it. I don't know, nobody really did. But suddenly, and that we were naive as the filmmakers, I don't know. But suddenly, in the context of the Brits Awards, it became a dangerously, pseudo-Christ-like thing to do. And so then that got, forever after, in the British context, the video got tainted by that, which is a shame because the message is so,
In 1994, Michael married Lisa Marie Presley. She supported his work on good causes, and together they hosted a conference on diversity at Michael's Neverland Ranch, which has been his home since 1988.
He cares about life and existence, and he's trying to help people because he's in a position to. Can I touch you there?
It's impossible to pinpoint where Michael's music ends and his dance begins.
I think I told you that we would be in rehearsals, and as you entered, everybody would be offered earplugs, including the dancers. And because the music was so loud that it would rock the floor. And that was because Michael wanted to feel the soul of the music.
Yes, I have heard he was a big fan of Fred Astaire and James Brown, and he's a very observant person. But yes, his dance is very effortlessly executed.
If you watch him carefully, you'll see that other than when he's doing more kind of street dancing type stuff, there's nothing technical about what he's doing. And he's brilliant. Every dancer moves when they watch Michael move. He makes everybody who can't dance feel the dancer in themselves. Because it comes from a heart and soul. He just has the soul of a dancer.
And perhaps Michael's most famous trademark is his moonwalk.
Now, I've heard he was inspired by a little kid in New York, but he just embellished and perfected it, and he did it just so flawlessly that it looks like it's defying gravity, and people just think, wow, and people start imitating, and people have no idea how to imitate.
And I spent like 2 days trying to figure out how to moonwalk.
Everything is just very flowing, and he just looks like a boneless person.
One of Michael's best friends believes there is plenty more that can be done with the moonwalk.
I'd like him to do the moonwalk on the moon. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to very high officials at a certain space agency in the United States. And they're taking it very seriously, because Michael once asked me, "Hey Uri, can you get me to the moon?" He wasn't joking when he said that. And I sort of laughed at him, and I said to him, well, that's a great joke. He said, "No, I'm serious." And then I said, well, I better check it out. And I called my friend, an astronaut, Edgar Mitchell, who was a sixth man to walk on the moon. And he said, "Look, Uri, why don't you call this and this number?" And I did. And I could not believe the emails that I got from these people who said, look, the only thing that keeps Michael away from the moon now is time. We're talking about 11, 12 years from now. And money.
I mean, he went from being in the midst of all these trained school dancers looking fabulous to, taking the spotlight in front of all these street dancers who really I think he learned his stuff from them just like he learned his stuff from us.
Michael can be credited with bringing street dance into the mainstream. He would hire street dancers to teach him moves and perform with him.
I spent all those years training, and I would watch some of these guys. And Michael started to be able to do it all too, just like that. He was like pop locking and all this stuff. It was like, what are you gonna do that?
And watching Mike on stage, the way he dances, he's the one that inspired me to breakdance.
He seems to be on a constant quest for inspiration.
A side of Michael that is little known is his business savvy. This is a man who knows what he wants, knows how to get it, and knows exactly who can help get him there.
He chooses to run an organization making a record of musicians, engineers, producers, writers. These are some flaky people. And he finds a way to motivate them, organize them, make them compete with one another. I mean, you would have thought he had read management books. He did have wonderful skills at managing all this chaos going on. And it's music. It is chaos.
The professional side of Michael is highly professional. When he is working, I mean, you can cut the air in the studio with a knife. It's so concentrated and he's so focused. It's just amazing to see him. It's like another Michael Jackson.